Freedom 35, 5, 5, 5.
Dude, start the podcast.
Wow.
Welcome, everybody. Freedom 35ers, Cardano NFT podcast, episode 96, technically episode 97 for all the OGs out there. My name is Tommy. I go by TOWNY.
My name is TJ. I go by Lazy T.
And I am the other Tom. I go by Lavish Bear.
And tonight, another episode, another podcast.
Dear, I thought you were going to say it.
Get it. There we go. Get it out of your system, yeah.
I had to. You can't be dropping a Trom after dropping Crom last week, homie.
I was thinking about when we were doing it. Are we going to intro our names and self through our past 100 as well?
What do you mean?
Like, if I can say, our name is Tommy.
It's kind of something you have to do, just in case we have some new people coming in. I mean, that's what our hope is. You know, obviously we can just give up, be like, no, the viewers we got is who we have.
You know who we are.
Maybe someone tuning in for the first time, TJ, they don't know which one of us is which.
You got three T's.
Yeah, know which one we are, who we are from Twitter. They see us on Twitter. They see us in a space. Maybe, you know, hey, I don't know who's who. You got to let them know.
Just throw the T out there. If anything, there's somebody's going to think your name's Trom tonight.
They still don't even know. Doesn't matter, actually. We can introduce ourselves all we want. And they're still going to call you.
We're three Toms.
Well, they're going to call you Tom every time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, three Toms. So
we can just say, hey,
they're close. You know, they got 66% chance of being right.
Yeah.
To just call any of us Tom.
It's the three T's, dude. Yeah, 3 5s. I don't know.
triple T.
Triple T. I like that. But yeah, guys, what's going on? Another week, another episode, another podcast. What's been up?
I don't know, man. What are we gonna talk about?
Got a nice little recap. That was because we had a good a solid little live stream. We went for the full amount for the first time in a little bit, I think, without a guest, right?
Well, yeah, there's the three of us. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
it was flowing well too.
We were flowing very well.
Let it flow.
Had some heavy flow going on.
Talk Thai very well.
No, man, I feel like Monday night we just went straight like, all right, we got every project that we're a fan of. We're just gonna lay into every single one of these with big. Most of them had like big. Just they got a deep dive into it. I don't know. Most of them had really like decent updates though, all at once, which was something. So I know we referenced that with like. I mean, they're all right, I guess. But like Yummi Universe, like that's the first time we talked about it on the stream, like the first time in a long time that where we were like, we talked to Yummi so much, everybody just thought we were like Yummi shillers. And then we stopped talking about them. We talked about Makasi, I think, for like a little month as well. And all the Yummi people were probably like hating us. But we're back. We were getting back on the Yummi train. And I did see in their Discord, they posted another announcement today of how they're trying to be more transparent with like updates, like give it like being what, you know, more. Just give you guys like behind the scenes, even if there's not enough news coming out. I did see that. So that's good to hear from the team that, hey, because they what has been a little quiet. I know they're building right now and it's great that they're doing that, but just being able to hear a little more from the team, not like they're radio silent or anything, but definitely getting a chance to hear from them in more depth is a good sign.
And I mean, just seeing even the title, Yummi Universe, Dirt Birds, Clay Nation, it's fun to be able to see that when we've been talking recently about a lot of projects that have been around for a while that are kind of closing up shop. So seeing that, you know, where it feels like it was almost, we could have been doing this 2022 October and had the same title. So it's kind of cool seeing how long they've been around, where we're hitting our getting into our year 3, you know, hit our 2-year anniversary. So getting to talk about them, of course, you know, it's exciting for us.
Well, even seeing like 3 out of those 5 up there been around since we were around, right? 2021. So it's cool to see that they're starting to really kind of all their plans coming to fruition. Even Derpa just expanding and where they were and where they are now, as far as what they've done and accomplished and what they have planned for. So it's cool stuff.
The fact that they can survive that long inside this space, like in all of them, not, you know, Yummi, the Dirt Birds, Clay Nation, all those ones that have been here since 2021. They all got super strong like fan bases and communities behind them. And all of them are, you know, they all have one thing in common between the 3 of them. That's, you know, if you think about it, is the branding. We were talking about Yummi Universe and how their Naru brand is like one of the key like partner, you know, key things for them to succeed. And Dirt Birds has kind of gone that same route now, where they're really they got like that niche brand. They got those plushies we saw, you know, the ones that we bought over at NFT as well. And there's a huge demand for them, even outside of just the NFT market. And then same thing with Clay's too. Like Clay appeals to so many different people. So I think like that's like obviously when you think about like what a successful project kind of embodies, it's got to be like community and branding really are
Yep.
two of the top things right there.
I was just even looking at the floor price of Yummy just now. It's 389 floor price. That's even gone up from a week when we were just looking at it last week. So it just, I think out of all three of those ones we talked about, they're probably the cheapest ones to kind of get in on now that you could still, you know, have quite a few of them, not just going in on dirt birds, where now a lot of the floor prices of those are 500-600 ADA plus. And then Clay Nation, of course, they have 1,000 for, actually Good Charts is a little like 560, but Clay Nation sells like 1,600 to 2,000 to get in on it. So to get in on a 2020 project that's actually producing something now, or very soon, they're already updating what they're going on, you can really get in on Yummy now.
DJ, is that a little
good point?
Nafafa?
Nafafa.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I do think like anytime there's these big catalyst events before, like the next big like announcement, whatever it may be from them, usually that kind of correlates with like more attention. And if the attention's like positive, you'll usually see that uptick in like pricing on that. Yummy has hinted at, like they keep mentioning it as something, OG holders will be rewarded inside of some of their posts and things like that. So if you're like, they're referencing that right now. I don't know what that means yet, but something to keep an eye on. And obviously people over there sweeping. I think somebody swept 12 of those, like you were referencing on that floor.
That jump today. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. So I don't know if somebody else knows anything, but that's something definitely to keep an eye on, because they did mention over on Twitter today as well about their pack sale and stuff like that. They actually had a nice little thread. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that.
I'm honestly pulling up now, so as you were talking.
They dropped this little graphic here today talking about their founders packs and then their next packs in the future, basically saying like how the next it's coming up here. They haven't announced it, but they're now, the fact that they're speaking about it, you got to think it's starting to get pretty close. So they're saying that they have yet to put an announcement price for this, but this next pack, these Eternal Darknesses and Shining Lights, are going to be sold over in ADA this sale, and then every sale after that will be opened up into Yummy to help, and it'll help open up their ecosystem and start getting some of that Yummy that's in circulation out of circulation, and back into like the just a healthy it prevents against inflation against it. So
it'll be interesting, because I think last time we kind of really got into the packs earlier in this year, Makasi hadn't came out, so now we kind of have a price for the expectation of return, as far as another project that's doing something along the same lines. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up kind of falling on, especially where ADA's at right now, and with what we're kind of seeing in the overall crypto market, and people getting excited about things possibly coming up here. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where they fall.
Yeah. And they reference it as the big burns over here. So one of the burns obviously will be paying for Yummy or paying for card packs and the Yummy token on future ones. But the first one obviously being in ADA. They do reference that the first one's in ADA because it's funding the game development and ecosystem. So that'll good.
I would say I remember that edit that Tom did of the burn when they did the back in the day.
The original one.
That's right. The graphic, that was cool.
It's been a while, man. That was 2 years ago that happened. Those spoofies over there. But yeah, no, it's good to see this from them. Good to get a little bit of updates over here.
We've been getting a lot of them lately, honestly, from them the past 2 weeks. So that's exciting to see.
Yep. Yeah. So big shout out over to Yummy Universe. Another thing that we kind of referenced over inside that chat there, like we were talking about, was you got Jelly token, right? Like the Jelly token, we talked about it in that Monday, and it released on Tuesday, which is yesterday for us recording. For you guys, that was 3 days ago. Doing a little backwards math for you guys, if you're listening to it on a release day. But yeah, did you get a chance to actually watch it when it actually dropped?
I unfortunately did not. I was at work. They did it like midday, right? Mid-morning. I didn't get to actually watch the drop happen or even follow it when it was going on. So no, I didn't. Did you?
Same, just deep in work. Just have not been able to do that kind of stuff in meetings and stuff where it's like I can't. Unfortunately, now it's getting to the point where it's like we're on Teams so much that I wish I could just turn my camera off and sneak away. It'd be very easy, but I'd get called out for sure.
I got a chance to watch it go live. They dropped the liquidity over on Spectrum Finance first, one of the dexes. And then from there, I actually was looking at it over on Dex Hunter. but they had that, remember that 20% fee got enacted. And if you look in the beginning of this stuff, when it first like peaked up, it was actually pretty high. When it first launched, it got up to, I want to say it was like some sales that I saw in like the 0.9s, like it almost doubled in price, like from the 0.55 that it launched at 0.55 ADA, it got up to like 0.94 some transactions. People were almost making double on it, and it quickly like started to shift after that, because you did have that 20% fee enacted too. So I think a lot of people were just who had a lot were probably selling off, and people who didn't really pay attention to like the actual like what was going on, like no fees or anything, they were just just buying because they didn't know, they just wanted to get in on it.
Yeah.
And the interesting part was it actually hovered for a little bit, closely around like the 0.78, like 0.8 for a little bit, and then it was started to drop lower and lower. Eventually, like it was around like maybe like 0.6, and then got back down to the original like 0.55 price. And it's had a couple different little shifts up and down, but pretty much as of the recording on this Wednesday, it's almost back essentially at what they released the mint price, or not the mint price, but the initial starting price at.
Yeah.
Which was 0.55. So it's pretty much right back there. So, and the Jelly Cube floor is kind of reflected that right now at the moment too, because they're at a 6150 floor. And if you take away that 10% that you would get if you were actually to sell it over on like JPEG Store, you're losing 600 ADA on that. So you're right around like that 5,500 ADA floor, which makes sense of why those are kind of what they are right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Exactly.
Yeah, that's essentially what they wanted to. They wanted to be pretty even with each other, kind of neck and neck in that standpoint.
Yeah,
a jelly standard.
So they've been doing big volume though so far. Daily volume so far has been almost 1 million ADA already, which is actually really cool.
That is great. Wow, that's very positive for him. I'm glad.
And then on top of that, I'm on Tap Tools right now. I didn't know if you guys saw some back in the ADA thing, but they like defaulted over here to USD. I didn't like it. Really threw me off. I was looking at the prices. I'm like, what the hell? 19 cents? Like, what does that mean? Because you're always so used to that. Yeah, they like defaulted over here on Tap Tools up here to USD, so you can swap it right now back to like your currency, and even in BTC
cool, actually.
But yeah, it was interesting to see. So they're almost at a 20 cents. Yeah, 20 cents.
Like
which is actually really cool. So yeah, big shout out to you. So daily volume, almost $360,000 in daily volume over there.
That's a lot of money.
It is. And all the fees and everything that people are chunking right now are getting burned up for this month too. So all that jelly is going to be taken out of that circulating supply, which will be interesting over time to see what they do with that. And a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, you can buy and sell your jelly. Like, what are you doing with that? Like, can I access anything with it right now? And I dropped a tweet today, basically saying that right now, if you hold 2,500 jelly for the next 2.5 weeks, you're going to get full access to their entire Discord as if you owned a Jelly Cube. And if you own only 500 jelly, you'll get access to the main chat, the alpha chat. Yep.
That's great. I mean, we talked about that with him, where he still wants to keep it exclusive and make sure it is tied to just having the jelly. But at the same time, he thought, this is a creative way to give people a little sneak peek for what they do have. And you can also buy temporary access now. If you're not going to buy, you don't even need to have a cube and have chunked it. You could just buy the jelly and check things out.
100%. It gives people a little bit of a taste. Like, okay, what does this get
me?
Taste.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he did say right here, so I don't know if this is going to be something more permanent, or maybe you only get partial access to stuff over here, because he said more info regarding holding tier levels and benefits later this month. So I know he was toying around with that idea when we talked to him on the show. So big congrats though to them for getting that launched out. Absolutely. And to see how far they've come. Like I'm sure himself, he was just like, I've never thought it would get as crazy as it did, but obviously he's got a really strong community behind him, and the information in there, it speaks for itself enough for the people to value it at what it is right now.
Top 4 project right now, right?
Oh yeah, dude, they're huge right now. They went in like less than a month or whatever it was. They went from 5 million in secondary volume to 6 million. Like 6 million in secondary volume is like really that's up there.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I was gonna say, what is it? The Earth Node project that has like a 65,000 floor. We're not counting that one.
Yeah, you never count that one. But yeah, this is like, I mean, if you really think about it, the supply obviously is a lot lower than like an Ape Society or something like that. But like you don't really see a floor this high, consistent with a project when they've got 2,600 NFTs out right now. Like that's doing really well.
Actually, 36 cent ADA floor, baby. Or let's go.
There it is.
Actually, we should count that one, TJ. Because only because that means that we could use one of our Freedom 35 NFTs, and I'll just post it up for like $1 million floor, and
True.
it'll just be the only one up. We'll claim the highest floor.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I like that idea, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Easy peasy right there. There you go. But yeah, big shout out to Jelly Cubes over there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's good to see projects like going from like that initial concept phase to where they're like really moving into things that like benefit holders, I guess. And obviously this one's not directly maybe paying you ADA, although they do have that point system. So actually I do believe that's a thing still over there. Remember where you have like certain number of points you get allocated? Yeah. So I do think that's actually still a thing. I always forget about that as well. But it's interesting. Like I think when people don't forget, where there's two different quotes from that, right? We talked about this on a show. I forget what show that was. There's the one. There's the Jonah Hill one. Actually, Jonah Hill from
Superbad.
Yeah, Superbad. Was there another one? Oh, somebody. I can't remember. I don't know why I'm getting like a weird deja vu right now.
What are you talking about? And what? And like within reference to that scene, there's another part that
no, just like quoting? People don't forget. No, yeah, just that quote.
People don't.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. We'll have to have someone in chat if you know what the fuck Tommy's talking about. Help us out.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But you know, hey, help us out if you do. You know what?
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But no, I was as far as like projects giving back to other, to people over time. I think that passive income is something that a lot of people are looking for. And I saw a post from Demosthenes today, kind of referenced something about like, hey, people want this generational wealth off of a $75 like investment on this NFT. Like, what do you really expect? And we're giving you like X and X, all this utility, all these little apps and everything. And
XX and X.
That's the reference he was using, but we're giving you X.
Like Moonshine. Remember the old like cartoons?
Or Dos Equis.
They had like the three. That's 2 X's. That's X and X.
It is.
Okay.
Dose.
Right.
X. But you know what I'm talking about from like the old Disney cartoons and stuff? Maybe like drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
3 X's on it.
Yeah, like the Prohibition era, like Moonshine.
Sure. Yeah, I just think of cartoons, so I mean that's where my head's at.
All right. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Demosthenes though was talking about XX and X.
You're expecting that utility back.
I agree though. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off, but I know we talked about that too. I mean, I can clearly hear TJ saying in my head, just like, what were you expecting? You spent 25 ADA on this. Did you think you were going to Freedom 35? I mean, that'd be great, but it's a huge gamble at that point. Like, of course,
it's not an option.
Yeah, like
forget about it. Okay.
So yeah, no, I definitely agree with him on that, and that's why again we've gotten into multiple. That's why you try and mint more than one project. You're not just going to get one project and be like, oh, I hope this is the one. All right, I'm not going to check. I'll check back in 10 years. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
You actually want to pay attention or follow along and see what projects maybe have changed or done some new things. And that's why it is difficult in this space, because it does require all of that time investment to hopefully be successful, unless you just get really lucky. But yeah, I know 100% agree with them for sure.
Mint a 101 overexpose,
Hey, you never know what you're going to do when you get one of those. But the whole point of that though was that for a lot of people who are investing in NFTs, they think automatically back to when things were just crazy back in 2021 or even 2022, where people just bought stuff for no reason and it just like pumped up just based on like pure speculation. But now you've got these projects that are like, some of them that have like IRL businesses that are established, that are earning money and are able to give back to holders. And a lot of what we're seeing, I think one of the things we referenced over there was Goofy Gophers kind of like got this started. I think more so like bigly, like made like a major thing over in the Cardano side of things with their Goofy Gophers. And then now the Kingdom Trust NFTs. And like the first big example we've seen of that has obviously been with like Dirtbirds, right? Like Dirtbirds is able to take advantage of being a partner through their Kingdom Trust NFTs, where Goofy Gophers manages all the miners for them, provides all the stuff. They don't need to, they got all the research. They tell them what to invest in. And, here's the dollar value. Here's what you can get out of it. And basically does all the managing of the whole thing for them. And obviously, I'm sure they take a cut for it. And then Dirtbirds gets the rest. And they were able to gamify that in their own way, to go ahead and raise the money to go ahead and purchase those miners by integrating their community. I think they've done the best job as far as a project goes to utilize it in that way, where it's not just like, hey, by the way, we're getting miners for you guys, and hopefully we can go ahead and make some money off this, and we'll give some back to you.
Sounds great
but
to me.
It does sound good in like theory.
Sounds pretty good, right?
But I've seen a lot of other projects starting to kind of go this route right now, and I'm wondering, like, is this the new meta? Not only on Cardano, but are we going to start to see this from a lot of other chains? Or maybe I know this happens on other chains. There's other projects that have. I think Goofy Gophers. There's like something like a whale project that is over. I don't know if it's on ETH or Sol or something like that.
Goofy whales.
Oh, okay, silly whales.
Wacky whales.
Silly whales is pretty good though.
Wacky
as good as the WW is for wacky whales. I don't know something about silly whales. Just
silly whales.
I think it's I don't know. It sounds something good in there.
Well, maybe we need to make a project. That's what I was getting at. This whole thing is as far as like where the meta is shifting for new projects. Well,
it's definitely one of the better metas though. I'll say like it's actually a use case return on investment meta, like that actually you could see some money coming back after you buy the NFT.
Actual cash money, like there's actually a plan.
It's a better meta
of like, hey, not just like, hopefully your NFT is worth more money. Like, just hold on to it. Let us do our thing. We're gonna use your money, and we're gonna make a lot of money too. We're not lying.
We're gonna make way more than you, but
but
you're gonna be part of it.
Cash money back.
We're gonna make way more than you. But here's a dollar.
Yeah, here you go. And that's been the whole thing with it. I feel like that's the whole thing with this meta is that there's all these new projects or existing projects that are coming out, or have been here, and they're using, they're tapping into this Kingdom Trust thing. And I'm wondering, is that like a viable option for them, or is that just kind of the new thing right now that's hot? And they see the success
of Goofy Gophers. Viable for Goofy Gophers. They're providing the service, what I mean?
Yeah, you got to think like they're the kingpin, right? They're the one who's running it for everybody. So the other projects that are underneath them, that's why I guess Derpers has been the one to like kind of nail it in their own way, where they've got their, the mining stuff is one aspect to it, but they've been able to like gamify it with all their derp, and they went out and created a whole new collection, like with all these gamification aspects to it, where you've got other projects out there that are just like, hey, we invested in some miners and we're going to pay some of you guys back, but it's still like miner. I keep saying miner, but it's the God damn it, that's making me think of the joke then on Monday.
I've never thought of that until you brought that shit up either.
Bro, it's just you keep saying the word miners. Like, I say crypto miners. Otherwise, YouTube's gonna be like, what are you guys talking about over here on this channel? But no, I was gonna say, like, is that even like a viable? Does it even make sense to invest in some of these projects now? Or if you're a new project and you're coming out and your main utility like is part of like crypto mining, but not being like purchasing on your own, like you're just doing it under somebody else.
I'd say it's harder for a new project to establish that. It's not as hard for a project that's been around for a while and has a good following or a good community, because they can kind of get them to rally behind them. But as far as a new project coming in the space, they're going to have a very difficult time trying to utilize and make that their biggest pitch. Hey, we got mining now through Goofy Gophers. Well, all right, so does Dirtbirds now. They already have an established community. I can just get a Goofy Gopher miner. I think they're in an uphill battle for that. They're gonna have to bring something else on top of the mining to be successful.
Right. Absolutely, that's a good point. That's really smart too, like saying that, because if they already have that existing community, it's like, hey, we're giving you the utility, extra utility maybe, or like even now we've pivoted to this as utility for what you already own, but trying to jump off from a starting position, and not be Goofy Gophers themselves, that would be very difficult, especially now to compete, because now we have these ones that are already out, so you're instantly compared to that. Why would I pick you over them? What are you going to give me more? Are you going to give me more money? More cash money in my pocket? Then all right,
take the money.
Then, like, or if you just, the only interesting plays I could see is people getting interested because they want to spread out. But even then, is there enough people that are looking that have the other two and are like, well, let me get into all of them, because maybe this won't be, hopefully one of them really take off. But as it's going to thin out every new project trying to kind of incorporate that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get at, is like this becomes like the new norm, like metaverse and DAO and all other things we've seen throughout time. Like, everybody's just doing crypto mining over there. Goofy Gophers is just loading it up right now, and hey, rolling into cash at that point, because everybody's just like, hey, get more miners for us, and we'll go ahead and give this to our community. And you're just like, no, I'm just gonna go with them. You guys keep all going back to them, so obviously they're doing something right over here.
I would say that if a new project was going to try to incorporate mining, it's a very obviously tall task, but I would say they'd have to limit their supply a lot smaller than Goofy Gophers, really bring on the exclusivity, but also have the same amount of miners or distribution as Goofy Gophers would, but with a smaller supply. So you're getting actually more money back to the NFT holders versus any other mining project. So that's the only way, in my opinion, for them to survive or do well.
I'm sure they're working things out. I know. And they got, I mean, also, we don't know, this is also a huge part of it. Is this service that they're providing. So I'm sure even just getting something like Derp onboarded is massive for them.
Yeah.
We definitely got to figure out miners does sound weird. So what Goofy Gophers need to do is purchase more children to have working.
Well, no, I was talking Goofy Gophers
in Iowa.
A new project coming out. If they want to compete with Goofy Gophers,
absolutely. No,
they have to have like a smaller
they need to buy more children than them.
Yeah. But their children need to produce more for it to be viable.
They need exactly. They just got to whip them into shape.
Okay, I got
it. Instant email when this video goes out.
Oh man, you're gonna have a battle of the children out there. But no, I think the hard part about that though too, like you said, is the new project's doing that, but they have to obviously not sell 8,000 NFTs at 350 or 458. Like nobody's just going to go buy into that. Like you said, they might as well just go, especially if you had an outpost right now on the floor, you can buy that. And you already know that they've already got it done. Where you're gambling on somebody new like that. You would have to have a low supply, but they obviously are not going to be able to buy as many children to go ahead and get that extra income.
Well, I think Derp was positioned so well because we've talked about it with them, but they had so many assets already that it kind of allowed them to gamify it like they did, where you couldn't even do that as a new project. You couldn't be like, hey, okay, so we're going to sell out 40,000 NFTs first, and then we'll get it going with the miners. It's just they were able to develop it and really just pivot and adapt as the space came. Like when Goofy Gophers came out to capitalize on that and see the potential, was perfect for them.
Yeah, like I said, they caught that. They're the first mover on that stuff. So obviously now being able to do that, it helps that project, their project overall. And if anything, like I said, Derp has kind of really set the bar right out of the gate as far as being they're one of the main partners. I think they were talking to them even before the Kingdom Trust was announced. And they're like, hey, we kind of got this perfect thing. I think when Dave was on, he was talking about that. Like, hey, we got this perfect thing for you guys. So now there's these other projects that are kind of going that same route. I feel like a lot of that just gets swept under the wayside. It's like, oh, that's just another thing they're doing over there. But it's not like nobody really cares about it as much, maybe. It's hard. It's a hard thing to nail, but like you said, if there's more and more of these projects out doing that, is that just watering down this whole allure of?
I don't think they can be successful. I don't think more and more of these can come out and compete and be successful. Like I said, just the gamification puts the Gophers and the Dirt Bird project above them. I think it'll be thinner and thinner if the next one can even really fully get there. They could, not saying they can. It's dependent on them as far as what they can creativity, bring to us. If they can show us something new, something gets our attention that shows us why it would work in a different way, but also potentially be successful, you get our attention. But I can't imagine that's going to happen often. So most of the time, I think most of us will see through it as just a not as good version of what I already have.
Because most of those projects are going to depend on selling out because mining rigs are not cheap, right? So they're going to have to depend on selling out or selling a good portion of the collection out.
Yeah, when you're on Wayfair, those children are expensive.
I can imagine, dude. and then the newest children come out every month,
yeah, exactly. So the Dirt Birds, theirs aren't going to come out till January.
No, all their children are out right now. If they're just
they're brand new machines though, right? The ones haven't been. It's the new version.
I think they're their own machines. They have their own set. Yeah.
No, not I mean,
there's 73 of them.
I mean, the model
73
type,
of those
like a new one.
Yeah, 73 of them. I think we were talking about that. Don't even come out until February or something.
That's what I was talking about then. Yeah. Okay, just that specific 73 where they have a version that's you were just saying, year after year, there's new ones coming out. So there's a lot to keep up with for them. And that'll be also, interesting to make sure they can kind of keep maybe staying up on speed with that, how that works out, swapping those out or getting new ones up and running. second round of, Outposts or something, expand their game. Be interesting because I'm sure he's got more planned.
Well, if you look at something too, like Goofy Gophers, one of our favorite things about them is the transparency of the project. And they just dropped this over here today, just talking about what they kind of did for the month of October. And pretty much 80% of holders are now burrowing, pretty much staking, right? To, compounding their rewards now within the first week, which is huge, right? And then after that, their net mining for this month over here jumped up a 50% increase now with these extra things online, up to $31,000 net profit this month for their crypto mining that they have currently going on. The interesting part about that, and they also had 30-day royalties for 500,000 ADA, which were doubled a month prior. So a lot of things are jumping, doing well for this. Imagine what $31,000, dollars now net. If you were able to have that, and then the bull run comes, and maybe a lot of people are thinking anywhere from like a 5 to 10 to 20x, depending on certain coins. But if you take that amount right there that they earn, and then you put that in like the bull market prices, that's the whole beauty of like crypto mining, right? That's the goal. So
especially now, getting all the extra tokens because it's so cheap.
Well, the fact that they can also, I know I've seen some posts and things going around of like, hey, they could have just took the $1 million and like just set it aside. Maybe they could have reinvested that or staked it and then paid it back, whatever it was. But then you look at something like this and it's like, yeah, well, they're in that market. It only takes them maybe 2 years to pay everything back when it comes at this rate, assuming that the rates stay the same right now, crypto prices, which obviously we know that's not going to happen. So, and now on top of that, now they still have all those crypto miners. So I think that they're in very well positioned right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how long this stays this way. But hopefully, it stays there for long, and they have a very sustainable business model. And not only are they doing that for themselves, but they're also doing it now for others. And I can imagine they're going to want a cut or a profit of doing that for others.
Well, we don't know this, how much they charge for that service, and they're also getting,
I think it's $10,000 for one of their Kingdom Trust NFTs is what I remember reading over there. $10,000.
But that's just a flat fee, or is there like a monthly thing after that? Or
well, I think you need that, and then I have no idea what the actual I don't know what the structure is behind that, to be honest with you. But I do know it was $10,000 for one of their and they basically said you could get like 2 crypto miners with that. So if there I don't know if there's like a bulk buy kind of option, like, hey, we're gonna do like Dirtbirds did, where they did like $800,000 or something like that, and then they just scaled it that way. I have no idea what the split is for them, other than it's got obviously something's going back to them for that service.
Well, I'm saying we buy a miner. Look at these returns.
It's funny. Yeah. I was just thinking in my head, if we had like 30,000 ADA in our joint purse, I definitely.
I'm about to go take a bank loan now.
Guys, so we started a project. It's just for the three of us. Only for the three of us.
Listen, we can get a business credit card. I just
want the miners
right now and buy it.
Yeah. Tom, you want the children?
No, just get a business loan out. $250,000.
Okay.
So we can get them for 10K each, or 2 of them for 10K.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy does it.
Yeah, let's load up 250,000.
And then easy does it. Well, now all right, we got a new business model right there. That's the new meta.
No one's thought of that, right?
5-year plan.
Right. Totally.
Don't die. Yeah.
I didn't know I was gonna do that.
What just happened?
Turn into
the shadow realm, dude.
I hit show avatar, but I know it's actually gonna click it on the bottom left there.
That sounds like we're getting close to a Freedom After Dark, even though it's not quite Freedom After Dark. But it sounds like a good time to wrap it up on the back end.
Yeah, it's kind of a quieter week. I mean, we've been loaded up the past like 4 or 5 weeks. Kind of all crashed down quick for us as far as getting topics on the list for tonight. But it's not that there's not always other stuff going on. I think we can, it's usually just things that, there's just always, it's what we want to bring to you guys would be actually interesting. Sometimes there's just some news that we maybe understand the value of it as an update, but it just isn't hopefully as entertaining. That's what we want it to be for everyone. So I'm ready for I think you guys, I'm excited for game night more than anything, which is a
me too.
I am.
We were just playing Fortnite.
I'm about to go jump back on that. What is this? 2015?
I was gonna say I may need to re-download it so I can jump in some games with you guys soon. I like them because they're pretty quick. You can kind of just jump in it now.
Me and TJ literally jumped in. I think it took us maybe 20 minutes. We got our first little dub.
First game and a dub.
First game of the dub right there. I'm gonna, especially on game night, that's a perfect thing to do. Easy one for viewers to get involved with too.
I think the community definitely would want to jump in that
or
one for
stream
sure.
snipers.
That too. You
I
can
wouldn't
definitely
mind that.
stream service. There you go. But other than that, yeah, I think that'll about wrap it up. Teases the polar bear over there. All he needs is like a little Coke can. And he'd be set right now. It's getting close to Christmas
It's
time
holiday
too.
time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have arms of the polar bear? No, it doesn't come up.
Yeah, can you lift your arms up?
I am, but not moving.
Oh,
DJ, lift your arms up.
Lift your arms up, dude.